Good evening, Westwood, and welcome to the Canton Ice House for a non-league matchup between the King Philip Warriors, I believe, Evan, right?
Yeah, the King Philip Warriors and the Westwood Wolverines.
Absolutely, and this, folks, we have an all-time matchup today. So we're looking at King Philip 11-0 on the year. I believe the only undefeated team in Division II, and Westwood 11-1. So two absolute top programs in the Division II ranks. Going up head-to-head tonight. And we are absolutely delighted to bring Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Girls Hockey. Evan Cardamino, Morgan Donahue. We'll have Ryan Marsh in a little bit. And we are absolutely delighted, folks. A big-time matchup. It is Thursday, January 28th. And 5 o'clock start. So, you know, it's a game that we've been looking for on the calendar as it's getting closer and closer, where this is an interesting matchup. These two teams played each other last year. Westwood came away with the win. I think they pulled away late. It was definitely an emotional game from what I remember too, but it's completely different King Philip team that is dangerous when it comes to scoring. Also very, very steady on the back end when it comes to their defensive efforts as well.
Yeah, but it's worth mentioning Westwood's defense here. Since January 10th, Morgan, Westwood has not allowed a goal against opponents. They played 4 games, and they've had 4 straight shutouts, 6 shutouts on the season. These are 2 really tough defensive teams, and I think the key to today's game is going to be the defense. Who holds, what goalie plays their best game. Jen Lynn, one of the best goalies in the state of Massachusetts. So, you expect that out of her, and what a season she's had. I mean, 6 shutouts already. And we've had 4 back-to-back non-league games, and these are tough opponents. You have Canton, you have Mansfield. We saw Duxbury, which was the last goal they allowed, but they held Duxbury at the time, the number 2 team in the state, to 1 goal. So for the Wolverines, the key today is going to be defense. The key is going to be making sure you play your best defense possible. And, it's not just Jen Lynn. We can look at players like Fallon Campbell. She's been a stalwart on defense, and it's been huge for the Wolverines. So tonight, that is going to be the key for the Wolverines, and then capitalizing on the opportunities they get.
No question about it. And you know what? I like how these teams are built with the defense, from the defense out, and there we go. We got the Puck Girls out there setting the tone for the Wolverines. Tonight's Puck Girls, we have we have Riley Marsh, Kendall Marsh, as well as Kira Joyce. So, shout out, girls. Setting the tone for the Wolverines. They've been doing it all year for the home games. And then, boom, another goal. Love to see it. The future Wolverines. And a lot of goals. And a lot of these girls that have come to help out and set the tone for the Wolverines, the Marsh sisters, the McDonalds, they've come, done a couple games. We see a lot of also family members of the team. So tonight, we have Kira Joyce. I remember seeing a Callahan a while back, also Chevries. So it's really cool to see, it come full circle when siblings are out there with, their big sisters. And really cool. They're getting a minute right now with Captain Justine Connolly, and you rarely see this right before a big game. But these girls, they know how big it is for the community when it comes to, making time for some of their biggest fans, even if it's right before start of a big game. Love to see it.
And, talk about King Philip for a second here. We talked a little bit about last year. That game, by the way, 7-1 win for Westwood, but I'm sure there was a little bit of added stuff at the end of that game. But this is a much different King Philip team we're going to see today, too. Right now, 11-0 on the season. They are having a stellar season, and this is a really tough team. They've had wins against very common opponents as well. They've had the wins over the Cantons, the Natics. For Westwood, this is going to be one of the biggest challenges they've seen all season, and, this is getting closer and closer to playoff time. And these teams are thinking about the rankings. King Philip comes into this game ranked 5th today, and Westwood, I believe,
number 2.
Number 2. There we go.
Milton.
So it's going to be, this is going to be a big time showdown. I think this is going to be the second toughest challenge they're going to face aside from Duxbury so far this season.
Yep.
And it's good. This is the type of matchup that you might see later on this year. Deep in a playoff run, perhaps. These are 2 teams that could go the distance. So, you're going to see this is going to be one of those games that's going to have a very similar feel to Duxbury. Not a lot of goals, a lot of precision hockey. You're going to have to be precise. You're going to have to make smart passes. You're going to have to play your game. That's something that we see out of Westwood they do well a lot. They play their game, and they can control the pace. So for the Wolverines, one of the toughest matchups they're going to see all year.
No question about it. As you mentioned, Evan, this has been a very impressive King Philip team. looking at their games, common opponents that they've had, Canton, Natick, they play the D1 teams too. They have Duxbury on the schedule, but they don't play them until a little bit later. But kudos to both squads, where they're adding tough games to their schedule. They want to be battle-tested come playoff time. It's not just about trying to go out and win against easy teams. No, they're trying to go out and play the best of the best to become the best team possible when it matters the most in March, where you want to be that team on the garden ice that's hoisting that trophy and taking it back to your high school and making memories that are forever. So just under a minute left here in warm-ups here at the Canton Ice House. Evan Cardamino, Morgan Donahue, and as mentioned, we got Ryan Marsh will be joining us. And the Westwood Puck girls, we got Riley Marsh, Kendall Marsh, and Kiara Joyce. In a very cold rink tonight.
Yeah.
This is the coldest I think I can remember it being for, definitely coldest of the year. I think the outside temperature definitely has something to do with it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, you mentioned February. I wish it was February, Morgan. It'd be a little warmer here. Maybe the snow would melt a little bit. But, I think, this is that New England weather. This is hockey weather. You got to love it. You got to love the cold, especially being from New England.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time of year. And, it's one of those things that you don't really think about when you're indoors, when you're playing a game indoors. But, it is colder.
Yeah, and the thing too is maybe we don't see the wetness on the ice, at the start of the period with cold like this. I bet you that ice will melt fairly quickly. So we got Matt Gillis. He is definitely he's retired in name only. He is keeping very busy.
We've been seeing him a lot more lately.
Yeah, we've been seeing him at games. We see him at the basketball games, and he is now the voice of Westwood Girls Hockey. As we'll kick things off shortly.
I wonder if DJ Matt has some good tunes queued up for this game.
Oh, he does.
Something we always look forward to.
He had a head start to it. We were here early, and he was getting, the tunes going right from the get-go. Just, I think, just seeing how it sounded on the loudspeakers, but it sounded pretty darn good. So I love this. The Puck girls helping out Maggie Ash as. When you're the home team, a lot of the rinks, the home team will provide the pucks for both teams for the warm-ups. And look at King Philip. Nice job. They kept it easy for the Wolverines, stacked them up. Not much heavy lifting for putting all the pucks in the bag. It's nice sportsmanship. But Evan, as you mentioned, what a streak the Wolverines have been on. What I like so far is it looks like they're going to be changing out some of the nets. So these are practice nets. The game nets are a little bit better shape. They're typically the netting is it's less used too, so they'll probably be cleaner stitching. But they're going to just put the new ones on for game. But what I like about the Wolverines team is we've talked about for the last couple of years the high-powered offense. But this is a team that really has such a strong defensive backbone. And come playoff time, you need to have that defense that can close the game out, a defense that can help you win the one-goal games. Those are so critical for playoff hockey. Is if you go up a goal late in a game, can you close that out? Do you have a goalie that can steal you a game? Sometimes you might not have the best effort, not necessarily effort, but execution that night, and you're up against a tough defensive team, and it's a struggle to get the puck in the offensive zone and pop a goal in. And it could be for both teams, but if you have a defense and a goalie that can help steal a game where you find a way to get in the net, and you also make sure to keep it out, you come away with a 1-0 win. I mean, that's how championship teams are built. That's how the Bruins won the Stanley Cup in 2011. They didn't have any crazy offensive stats. They would just put a couple in there and just, bang away when it came to finishing checks and playing strong defense, and also helped that they had Timmy Thomas in that.
Well, of course, Timmy Thomas always helps. But like you mentioned there earlier, stealing a game, that's kind of key in these types of games, right?
Yeah.
This is not a team, both teams here on the ice tonight are not teams that are going to give you an opportunity 9 times out of 10. So you have to take the opportunities when you get it. You have to be there for the rebounds, for those deflections, those second attempts, maybe a tip pass. We saw that, I believe, in the first goal, that Duxbury game, was a tip pass from off of Livy Hicks's stick to get the goal.
Yep.
So, one of the things that is sort of part of that is you have to be there to capitalize on the opportunity and play smart hockey and steal those opportunities, create your own opportunities. And I mean, we talk about that a lot. And, you know, one of the things that Westwood does a really good job of is being in position. I can't tell you the amount of times I've watched this girls' team, and it's like, yes, they get a shot from maybe the right side, but they have another forward ready there to get the rebound and get that off shot, and that's hard for any goalie, no matter how great of a goalie you are. I know King Philip has one of the best goalies in Division II right now. You know, being undefeated, they have to have a great goalie, but it's just one of those things where you have to outplay them, essentially. And it's the same goes for King Philip. They have to outplay Westwood if they want to come away here with a win tonight. So it's really just a matter of playing your best hockey.
I do want to mention, you know, the emotions of the King Philip team. They lost their coach earlier this year, suddenly. And he was absolutely beloved by the program. He had a saying that, you know, all in. We're all in. And, you know, I happened to be at the King Philip boys game a day or two after that game, and they had a beautiful ceremony before the game where the boys brought out flowers for their, you know, colleagues on the girls' team. There wasn't a dry eye in the whole building, but speaks volumes to how special, you know, Ken Assad was to King Philip, the girls, and the bond that they had with Coach. And we'd be remiss not to say, you know, we're thinking of all of you. And, you know, what a spectacular person Ken was, you know, with just everything you hear, you know, amongst his former players and people in the hockey community. So.
And, I mean, we were talking about this before the game, too, but we covered this game here last year as well, and Ken was nice enough to us, and he helped get us a roster pregame, and he, you know, it was one of the great coaches. You could tell just by the reaction in that community that they really loved him and cared about him, and it's, like you mentioned, very tragic. And you know, you have to kind of root a little bit for King Philip, too. They're having a spectacular season. You have to imagine that it's in the back of their minds, and it's a great story to see how this team has rallied around a tragedy. And
fueling their season, no question about that. And I mean, so I typically will email coaches before games, you know, just trying to track rosters down. And I remember emailing him last year. He probably got back within 5 minutes. Not only did he get back, it was very kind, like, hey, thanks for covering the game. Here's the roster. I look at the roster, and it was professionally done. It looked like, you know, the rosters that Jack Edwards had. And I had seen him before the game, and I said, this is the best roster I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he goes, my daughter made this. My daughter, you know, she made the roster for the team, and he was so proud of her. And, like, you know, when he describes, you know, the process of her making it, it was pretty cool.
I believe you actually kind of copied the template.
I tried to.
I remember that.
I tried to do it for the Hockey Fights Cancer game, but
right.
I could not do it as beautiful as Ken's daughter had done for their roster. So it was you know, it was pretty cool. So I believe we have one net on the ice, possibly two.
I see the two, but those are the two that they pulled from the nets in front. So
they have not been swapped as of yet.
So we have a bit of a extended pregame here today, actually, as both teams are actually trying to stay warmed up here. And you know, that's also something that's going to factor into this a little bit. You know, you get warmed up, you usually have the 7 minutes at the start of the game, and you get right into it. There's not a lot of, you know, waiting, not a lot of...
And not to mention in a very cold rink. So they're starting to get stretching going again, both teams.
Yeah.
Which is not how you want to start the game.
I see, now, I see two nets behind. If you see where the Division III banner is, underneath that, those are two nets there that I wonder if that's what they're trying to pull.
Now, where are those?
If you see the Division III banner underneath the score clock on the left side?
Yes.
Our viewers don't, I apologize.
I think those I believe might be Curry's nets.
Okay, so this might be a college regulation.
So what I see the officials doing now is they're really digging into where the pegs go into the net. So they might need to have done some work on those pegs to make sure when they put them in that they stay in. So as the net on the far side, see the official putting in the pegs. Those pegs keep that net rounded unless someone runs into it with some pretty good force.
Right.
If you don't have those in the ice and someone makes minimal contact, the net will be dislodged.
Yeah.
And they're important for the goalie too. The goalie is going to slam their pad into the net to make sure that they have positioning.
Right. You can't have if a net comes up every 5 seconds, this game would be going into tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
so
it'd be a whistle every other 30 seconds.
Right. So, you know, it's important to make sure the nets are secure and making it work. But You know, this isn't the first delay we've seen here. I remember last year we did a game with the lights went out.
Oh, yes.
Remember that? I don't remember what game.
It was a Dartmouth game.
Dartmouth, yep.
And I believe that was the game where we did 3 games in one day.
We have a couple doubleheaders coming up.
Well, this was a triple header. We did 2 hockey, 1 basketball in the same day. It was girls versus Walpole.
Yep.
Then it was guys versus Dartmouth here. Lights went out. And then it was, I believe, Archbishop Williams versus Westwood in Archie's versus Westwood.
Yep, it was.
And, that night. And then we slept very good that night.
Let's see, friend of the broadcast, Mike Mao, arriving.
Yeah.
He's here to take some photos. That's great.
Westwood legend.
He is. He sure is. He's coming up to say hello. Maybe we can. Maybe we can convince him to.
Throw a headset on him.
Throw a headset. No,
he shies away from it. One of these days
does.
we'll get it. Potential podcast guest too. So I see both nets now in, and we have the team setting up on the goal line, and we are about ready to get things kicked off. We will send it down to Matt Gillis, voice of the Westwood Wolverines girls hockey, to kick off tonight's starting ceremonies.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to King Ice House for today's hockey matchup between the Kingfield Warriors and the Westwood Wolverines. During today's game, please consider respectful to the players, coaches, officials, and all that are in attendance. Please enjoy the game. And now for our starting lineups. Starting off with the Kingfield Warriors. Number 8 at left wing, Annabelle Curran. Number 17, right wing, Ella Logan. Number 27, center, Stephanie LeBlanc. Number 5, defense, Erin Steck. Number 11, defense, Haley Brady. And number 34 in goal, Kiki Lynch.
This one's going to be back and forth. It's going to be back and forth.
And now for your Westwood Wolverines. Number 3, left wing, Lily Hicks. Number 14, right wing, Erin Gannon. Number 11, center, Justine Connolly. Number 18, defense, Erin Garland. Number 24, defense, Kira Shepherd. And in goal, number 1, Jennifer Lynn. Our puck goes today are Riley Marsh, Kendall Marsh, and Kira Joyce. Earlier this season, the Kingfield girls hockey team lost their beloved coach, Ken Assad. Ken was highly respected in the hockey community, and he will be greatly missed. We ask that everyone join us for a moment of silence as we remember Ken Assad. Thank you. And now for the playing of our national anthem. Just so everyone knows in the stands, we do experience a little issue with the clock down on the visitor side of the rink. Official time is kept here in the booth. We want to make sure the officials are always kept up to date.
You guys go to basketball with me?
All right, folks, we are about ready to get underway here at the Canton Ice House. Number 5 versus number 2 in Division 2 MIAA Power Rankings. And a great test for both teams.
Yeah, it's going to be a high energy matchup here tonight. Like you mentioned, great test for both teams. Probably one of the hardest games Westwood and King Philip, not Duxbury, excuse me, are both going to see in opponents this all season. It's going to be a great one. Excited for it.
And you know what the thing too is when you're playing non-league opponents, this is always great tests. You don't know what they're really like until you play them. You know, when you play the TBL teams, you know what you're going to get. You know the players, you know the systems and all that. But when you play the non-league teams, you know you don't know their style. You know until you play them.
Yeah, there's some familiarity between the TBL teams. This, you're really getting true experience in playoff hockey.
Starting for the Wolverines, Aaron Gannon, Justine Connolly, Libby Hicks. Kira Chevry and Erin Carolyn. Wolverines win the draw, and they're going to get right to work, send it into King Philip's zone. Connolly jumps on top of it, sends it up to the point, gets through a King Philip player, and then stolen. Coming the other way for King Philip is number 17, Ella Morgan, but stolen right back by the Wolverines. Nice stretch pass there by KP, and they're going to dump and chase. Puck ends up back behind Jen Lynn, picked up by Carolyn. She chips it up ahead to Gannon. Gets off her stick and goes up to the point. Shot just off the side of the net. It was a nice hard shot from the point. Number 11, Kaylee Brady. Back on the stick of KP. Shot goes wide. Ends up near side. Gannon picks it up. She's going to go off the boards, clears it out. So some good looks there early by KP. Getting some shots towards the net. Nice play by Chevry, who was able to steal the puck and work that puck up as Westwood gets to change out the players. I think KP going to do it themselves as well. They change it out as Westwood has some time to work it up the boards. A little give and go now on the stick of Bridget Lewis. Bridget Lewis with some speed. She's got Chevry to her left. Lewis with a nice move. Shot, save. Beautiful save there by number 34, Kiki Lynch. That was a fantastic save, and Bridget Lewis with some great speed coming out of the zone, and it all started from a nice one-touch pass by Ash. And she had a streaking Chevry as well, so that was a great look for the Wolverines after KP had some good looks in Westwood zone. Shot from the near far side, just goes wide. That was a shot from Maggie Ash. Maggie Ash coming off a very productive game versus Canton with 2 goals. And Lynch is going to cover it up. We'll get a whistle and get our first face-off of the game. So some great action out of the gate between these two teams.
We built this game as a defensive matchup, but maybe we were wrong. Maybe it's going to be an offensive shootout. We've seen 5 shots on net already between both teams this game.
Yeah. Hughes wins it back, and Callahan was trying to send it back to Carolyn. Gets by her, goes all the way down. They're going to say it's an icing, though, so it came off the stick of KP. And we'll get a face-off right back in the Warriors' end. So we got Hughes, Marino, and Callahan out there, forwards for the Wolverines. Been a terrific line all season. Carolyn and Chevry on defense. Westwood another win on the face-off. Right back to Carolyn. Carolyn goes back down low to Callahan. Callahan off the boards to Carolyn. Carolyn trying to send it down low. Hits Callahan, who passed it over to Hughes. Hughes going to send it up. Room it around the boards. Kept in by Chevry and then battled for by Marino. Great job keeping that in. And this is what the line does so well, is they are hungry on pucks and they are so good at possession hockey. Hughes up top to the point. I'm going to send it right back down low. And right there is Marino, who gets a stick on it. Marino with a nice cycle pass to Hughes, who's taking it towards the net just a little bit wide. Callahan jumps on the loose puck. And a great shift by the Hughes, Callahan, Marino line, as you know, they're going up against the top lines of the other teams, and they wear them down with their possessive style of hockey. Shot from Westwood off the stick of Connolly, saved by Lynch, and we'll get a whistle. And Evan, that's what happens, you know, when you have good shifts like that where you are possessing the puck and you're moving it effectively and you're holding on to that puck in the defensive territory, or KP's defensive territory, you're creating that momentum for the next line coming on the ice to get a nice look at the net. And right away, who do we see? Justine Connolly getting a shot on net. Connolly again trying to work that towards the net. That gets knocked off her stick. KP comes away with it. And we got a loose puck on the far side bench. KP's going to send that right in and get to work. Olivia Alex battling for it in the corner. Going to send it up top to the defender. But in the lane there is Connolly. Connolly on the tail end of the shift sends it over to Hicks. Hicks trying to send it towards the net. That gets deflected off the stick of Steck. And a puck battle ensues. A little 2-on-2 battle on the far side corner. And we got Ryan Marsh, folks.
What's up, guys?
Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. And what a tone set by Kendall and Riley Marsh, as well as Kira Joyce. Well done.
Oh, that was fun. They love it.
I saw them get some good one-on-one time with Coach, too. You know, love to see it.
Yeah,
And,
they took advantage of the delay and just, learned a few things.
Soaked it all in. Even some good sportsmanship. I saw them help pick up the pucks on the KP side as well. So it was really, they got, they got a nice little perspective of, being in a Westwood uniform in a big-time game. We saw Justine Connolly was having a couple words with them, too, as well. Really cool to see the seniors, the leaders, really spend some time with the future.
They are the absolute best. They let them come in the locker room. They let them lead the way. And now this is their second time, so they're seasoned vets, so they know exactly what to do.
And speaking of Connolly, we had an all-time quote the other night from Riley Marsh. Said, Justine Connolly's a great player to watch. She scores a lot of goals and gets a lot of penalties. There we go. Wolverines come away with the possession. Lewis going to send that ahead as KP going to work it behind their net. Great stick there by Ash, able to come away with a puck. Looking for Lewis, that just gets wide and goes outside the zone, and Chevry's going to regroup. Wolverines going D to D. Smart play because that opened up the lane on the far side as Carolyn was looking for Lewis, and a great stick there at the point as Chevry. Just smart play. A stick like that can keep a team off sides on their entries, and they keep them in check. So Westwood right back to work. Marino sends it in. Coming on the ice is Hughes. Hughes doing a great job. She's anticipating the far side. Marino sends it towards the net, forced a save by Lynch. And puck still in the defensive zone. This line so good at possession. Shot by Campbell, that gets deflected. Hughes battling for the loose puck. And they position themselves so well. They know how to time it well, too, with Callahan anticipating, and then Marino, as Westwood sends that right back down deep into KP territory. KP trying to come up on the near side, takes a deflection. Campbell keeps it in, looking to work it towards the net, but deflected off her stick. And a nice play there by number 23 for King Philip. That's Molly Morgan.
KP forwards were all pretty low in their D zone there, so I'd keep an eye on the Westwood D because they might have some space. You saw Fallon had a little chance to walk in there, so that might be something that opens up all night.
Totally, especially shots from the points. It also allows some really good timing of those forwards get to the net or crash the net. And Ryan, as we've seen in some of these big games, it takes those second, third opportunities, takes tip shots, takes a lot of things to get it past good goaltenders like we have here today. Gannon works it inside the zone, sends it up top to Carolyn. That squirts by, ends up in the neutral zone. She's going to go back and play it. She's got two KP players closing in. Stops behind the net, goes off the boards to Gannon. Gannon was looking to chip it up ahead to Connolly and sent right back into Westwood territory. Wolverines go D to D, but that goes off the stick of Chevry. And right back on the far side. Connolly gets the puck back. With a nice stick check by Connolly, and the puck ends up loose in front of the net, just wide of Lynn. That was on the stick of Molly Murphy, as KP buzzing right now. Wolverines looking to get the puck out of their zone.
Westwood D's got to keep an eye behind them. KPW parking someone right in front, and they've had a few chances on tips and rebounds. Yeah, no question. Murphy had a great opportunity as the puck was going right to her, and no one really in her territory in front of Lynn. KP here with another good look. And a strong defensive play by Carolyn to close that door down. They're going to try again. Saved by Lynn. That's a beautiful save by Lynn on a point-blank look off the stick of Brady. That's the biggest save of the game so far. Lewis coming away. She got some speed. If she can split the D, she does. She's going in alone. Shot. Score!
Lewis took it from her defensive zone, put on the Jets, split the D, and puts it in the back of the net to put the Wolverines on the board, 1-0.
I feel like you got to give Jen Lynn an assist there. I feel like a broken record. We say it all the time, but she just puts herself in position, squared up, and makes the easy saves. That was not an easy save, but makes it look easy.
And you know what? From literally one end, KP's buzzing. They're throwing pucks on net. They're getting, some good looks, forcing difficult saves by Lynn. And then all of a sudden, Westwood goes the other way, gets the goal, momentum shift, complete shift in a matter of 20 seconds. And we have a great photo of it here. We are delighted to have the Boston Herald up here taking photos, and we got a great photo of that goal. So keep an eye on that in tomorrow's paper. Lewis looking up ahead, nice give and go pass over from Presley to Ash. Ash with a heavy shot on net. It was a lot harder than it looked, forcing a blocker save by Lynch. And Ryan, Ash coming off a big game versus Canton, had 2 goals, and Canton always a tough team in Division II.
It's funny, we watched the Patriots game over there at the Ashes, and she was talking about her goals like they were nothing. But I heard they were pretty special.
They were monstrous. It was a great defensive battle. It was a great hockey game where, the team who was going to score was going to win, and that's exactly how it went down. And the opportunities where she had daylight, she delivered. Hughes shoots it towards the net. That gets deflected, ends up behind the net. Marino right there ready. This line is so well put together and just always on the same page as that puck goes airborne and then ends up on the stick of KP. Working into Westwood territory is Katie McGann. Great defense, though, by Carolyn, able to come away with the puck. Goes off the boards to Chevry, and right away, Wolverines get their breakout going. Nice clean play there off of a great defensive stop to work it out.
Westwood is moving the puck really well right now. Little passes, the breakout passes, everything's tape to tape.
Yep. And some good. I love the stop behind the net, change the angles, and really just playing with purpose right now. And Connolly, she's getting her feet moving after moving that puck up, and great job coming away with a loose puck. Ends up on the stick of Campbell, who sends it towards the net. Sticked aside by the KP defender, kept in by Joyce, but then knocked out. Hicks in a puck chase. Picks it up, gonna go around the net. And smart play, high off the glass. How underrated is that play, Ryan, when you need to just get it out? And then picks it up herself. No, that's Gannon. Gannon with a shot, loose in front of the net, saved by Lynch.
Erin the Cannon Gannon was shot out of a cannon
Yes,
there.
she was.
She turned on the afterburners.
I've wondered where she got the nickname from, and when I've seen her come on the ice, and take loose pucks and go into the offensive zone, I can see why she got the nickname Erin the Cannon Gannon. Nice stick there by Ash, gets the steal. Shot by Lewis goes wide. Ash picks up the rebound, trying to stuff it, but blocked by KP. Westwood keeps it in. Joyce sends it towards the net. That was sticked aside by KP. They were ready for that one, and puck ends up in the neutral zone. Presley going off the near side boards to Ash. Ash hits the ice, gets right back up. KP going the other way. Shot. Great job by Campbell. Gets a stick on that one. Didn't even get towards the net. That was something we talked about before the game, Ryan. So the Wolverines, 6 shutouts on the season, 4 in a row. Since they haven't given up a goal since the Duxbury game.
I know, a play like that where you get the...
Great look there. That was a beautiful pass.
Yeah, Fallon just timed it, made the right play, and when you have Jen Lynn behind you, good pressure there by the Wolverines.
Yep. Yeah, getting those puck towards the net. They're doing a good job, too, it looks like, of timing it and trying to get those second, third attempts. So really love the sense of urgency out of them in a very quick period so far. We get 3 minutes and 37 remaining here in the first. Westwood up 1-0 off a goal by Bridget Lewis. And a nice win off the draw by Hughes. Trying to get it towards the net, that gets blocked wide. That was a nice win by Hughes and a shot by Carolyn from the point. KP able to work that puck outside and ends up on the stick, but great back check by Callahan to help knock that puck off of the KP stick. She trying to send it out again, but KP keeps it in. They're going to send it on net, turned aside by Lynn. Lynn's rebound control too, Ryan, is very underrated. She knows how to put those pucks where her defenders are going to be to help kind of initiate that breakout.
It's a huge thing at all levels of the game. there's a girl, even where my daughters play, U10, U8, the goalies that can steer the puck and start the breakouts or just get it away from them have a heavy advantage.
We got a high stick, and I'd imagine that faceoff will be all the way back down in the KP defensive zone. And it's not only just those plays, it's like the plays too when you send those pucks are sent in your own defensive zone, you got the goalie helping out, putting it behind the net, and just also sending it out to you when you're on the power play to set you up. Those things go a long way. Connolly on the draw, wins a nice clean one. Westwood been great so far on the draw. Campbell's trying to send that towards the net, gets blocked. And KP in transition offense, working into Westwood territory. Westwood some great sticks there. Shot towards the net, saved by Lynn. Rebound, ends up on the stick of Hicks. Hicks going the other way. Gannon getting her feet moving. Works it into KP territory. Got a strong defender on her as she's trying to get over to Hicks. Hicks trying to work it towards the net. Well defended by KP. KP sends it out of the zone. This one has some mustard on it. It's going to work its way to the end line and get the whistle for icing with 2 minutes 20 remaining here in a very entertaining first period.
Minimal whistles, which I think favors Westwood. They're a fast-moving team. If they can win the job in the face-off circle, as you said, and then just keep the play going, they'll be able to roll their lines through 1, 2, 3.
Absolutely. And right back out there is the Lewis, Presley, Ash line.
Not a bad second line to trot out there.
Not at all. And each line has kind of different style, and they're all winning types of style. So you have the Lewis line, and there we go. Westwood with a look. Oh, Presley just missed on the rebound. The net gets off, and we'll get a whistle. But you have the Ash, Presley, and Lewis line, which is the high-powered offense line. You have the Campbell, you have the Connolly, the Hicks, and Gannon line, which is very talented offensively, plays some solid defense. And then you have the Marino, Hughes, and Callahan line that are puck possessive, that get pucks towards the net, rebounds, that cycle, and they exhaust other teams. They exhaust other teams' top lines because they do the job so well.
This feels like an opposing coach's nightmare.
It is, especially when you got your top line out there and they are possessing the puck and just wearing them down. Westwood keeps the possession in the offensive zone. Going to send it around the other side. Presley chasing, trying to beat the puck to the attack, but KP able to clear it out. Going to come near side, trying to play that one up ahead was Carolyn, but great instincts by Lewis to help out, and that's what Westwood does really well is they know when to jump in on a play when they see back checkers coming, and they know where the back checkers are coming from too that help out with the angles. So that'll be an icing as well.
That was a nice breakout by KP. They kind of went backwards. The wing, you always think you're moving forward, but the center slowed up a little bit, and the wing found her coming out, and it was a clean break.
Yeah, they've been doing a really good job of that as Westwood, Westwood's not the type of team like Duxbury that really is heels on a cliff on the point. They'll pull the defenders out, but both teams doing a good job of finding the center on those breakouts. And really, good offense comes from a clean breakout. As KP comes away with the face-off, puck loose. A little battle just in between the circles. Westwood battling for it near side, able to squirt it loose. Connolly chasing after it, but picked up and settled by Brady. Brady in a nice pass up to the forward up on the far side, but great back check. I think it's offside. It is offside. But a great back check by, it looked like Gannon over there.
Important 43 seconds here. You see Coach putting it back out the Presley Ash line here just to close out the period strong.
Yep.
No, they said they're having some clock issues, but I think there's 40 seconds left.
Yes. Yeah, the clock, it does work. It's just that it looks like it's slow moving, but it's not as easy on the eyes as the normal clocks you see in these rinks.
This line has had their chances.
They certainly have. They've been moving it well and really timing it well, too. So when one player picks up the puck, they know where to go, too. KP able to clear it. 10 seconds between now and the end of the period. Wolverines trying to get maybe a possession, a potential shot on net, but they're just going to play for the defense. Ash with the steal, and that is going to do it in the first period. A very entertaining first period as the Wolverines come away with a 1-0 lead on a goal by Bridget Lewis. Coast to coast, Bridget Lewis, and what a finish to put the Wolverines up. Ryan, any thoughts, final thoughts from the first period on your side?
Not a lot of whistles. Fast moving, like we said, that favors Westwood a little bit. A huge goal to get the first goal of this one because, their defense is strong, goalie's strong. So rest up, come back up for the second.
Rinse, repeat. Well, that's going to do it here for the first period. We'll be right back after a quick message. And for the start of the second period, you're watching Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Girls Hockey.
Nothing in sports happens without commitment. You have to commit to prepare. You have to commit to compete. And when the game is on the line, you have to commit to making a decision and trust your preparation. The same is true when it comes to orthodontics. When you commit to improving your smile, you're making a commitment to a better life. Your mouth is the front door to your health. And who doesn't love showing off a beautiful smile when you're celebrating with friends and teammates? Arch Orthodontics is committed to you and being part of creating an even better you. When you're ready to commit, you know who to call.
Westwood High School Sports brought to you by Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care. And Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian.
All right, welcome back, folks. About to kick off the second period, and we got some special guests. We have not only Ryan Marsh, who is still here from the first period, we also have Riley Marsh, who is one of the tone setters of tonight's game. And Riley, how are we feeling after the first period of our Westwood girls?
Good, because this team is undefeated.
Yes.
So the fact that they scored is good.
Absolutely.
And they've been stopping the KP on breakaways and stuff.
Yeah, KP has had some good looks, and Jen Lynn has answered the test. And, not only did she answer the test, she was helpful on the goal by Bridget Lewis, who was able to take that rebound, go the other way. She went right through the KP defense, took it to the net, and put it in the back of the net, and that's where we're at with Westwood up 1-0.
And they had a lot of shots on the KP in the beginning. But
Pucks on net. A lot of pucks on net, a lot of rebounds. Keep it up.
They were buzzing out there. And really like what I saw at all the lines, but Ryan, you make a good point. Like, the continuity in the Ash line with Lewis and Presley really were getting going towards the end of the second half of the period.
That's it. In a game like this where there's not that many whistles, not a lot of stoppages, if you can roll out 3 solid lines, then like I said, it's an opposing coach's nightmare.
Hockey too, come playoff time, it's like a boxing match, and who's got more left in the tank late in the match, and that's what it's like come playoff time.
Hey, I gotta go.
You out?
Bye.
She'll be
All
back.
right.
She'll be back.
Always great to see Riley Marsh. She stole the show during the most recent basketball game as she was helping commentate her friends out there during the halftime show as Westwood gets the puck right back on their stick. It's heading towards the KP net, covered up by Lynch, and we get a whistle as it looked like the clock said 5:47 on the right, on the left side. Now it's back to normal. So we got some interesting clock. It's almost like a haunted house type clock that we're dealing with.
I don't even know if that's the real time. Like, it's not even showing us what time it is in outside time.
Yeah, 5:48 on my iPhone.
Okay, all right.
But,
So
Ash sends it towards the net. That's saved by Lynch. Ends up in the far corner. Presley battling for it. Great back up there by Lewis as KP going to send that down the length. And that's going to be an icing and interesting. We were saying before the game, Ryan, how cold it is in the rink. Colder than I've remembered it in most recent times. But one thing that I've noticed, though, is no excess water because of it no excess water out there right now.
No, this is great ice. We had our state play down on this rink, and the girls loved it.
Shot towards the net by Presley, saved by Lynch. That was a nice backhander. It's Presley behind the net. Sends it to Ash. Ash looking out front for Lewis, but sticked aside by KP. That was a nice play by number 12, Sydney Gannon, as KP going the other way. Great defense by, it looks like Lewis, as Joyce picks up the puck. She's going to go up the far side to Presley. Presley then chips ahead back to Lewis. Lewis, a nice backhander, and Wolverines have some numbers if they hurry. Lewis with Ash. Ash towards the net, saved by Lynch. That was a great look on a 2-on-1, which all started from a clean breakout by Presley.
Those little passes have been huge, and they're open, and the girls are just threading the needle.
That was
generating some chances.
Absolutely. Turned into those little passes, turned into a nice 2-on-1 look. And now Hughes going the other way. She's got some space. Hughes, the shot gets blocked, trying to fight for a loose puck, but she's got Marino there to help. As Marino takes it towards the net, just through the crease. Callahan gonna settle it behind the net, as sends right back on the stick of Marino. But this is what the line does so well, is they play keep away so efficiently, as Hughes sends it towards the net and then gloved by Lynch. So doing a great job is the Marino, Hughes, and Callahan line, as they have all night. And do we have Kendall Marsh here as well?
Yeah.
We do. Kendall, how we doing?
Good.
How we feeling after the Wolverines' first period and the 1-goal lead so far?
Great.
Yeah. And how'd you feel setting the tone? You were a big tone setter tonight, getting the girls ready for this big game by going out there and getting some good strides in and scoring a goal, I saw.
Yeah.
Now, how did that goal feel? That was it was a pretty good snipe you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. As the girls were fired up, and it helped start things here as Hughes sends that in deep, and Wolverine's going to change out their forwards. On coming the ice right now is Kendall's neighbor, Maggie Ash, who, Kendall, I understand you guys had some fun little snow day the other day?
Yeah.
That is awesome. After a Patriots win, no less. And doesn't get better than that, especially when you have no school the next day on a Monday.
Really strong back check there by Bridget. Great to see her going both ends of the ice.
And being able to do that from the middle of the ice, love to see it. Presley now coming away with it on the entry, drops it for Lewis. Lewis with a shot, saved by Lynch. Presley there on the rebound, still loose. Ash has it. She's looking around for her options, going to work it towards the middle, has an open Lewis who's going to work it towards the net. Shot and a save by Lynch, but good puck movement there on some good opportunities.
Abby's had some we've talked about it a few times in the first period, just great little passes into space, making the smart play.
Yep.
It's awesome to see. This line is really buzzing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I used this reference a while back, but it's like Oates and Neely. Presley is Adam Oates, and Ash is Neely. And then you got a shot on net saved by Lynch. And then you got Lewis, who's like Brett Hull. Lewis, a great goal scorer. Ash looking behind the net, trying to set up. Presley trying to set up Ash. Ends up back on the stick of Presley, who's looking for Ash. That's sticked aside by KP, and they're going to chip it ahead to two ready forwards on their breakout. And they have some speed. Can they take an angle? That was a great job by Alex, and an even better job by Campbell with the stick there, where she had stick on stick, nowhere to go on that pass. Pass attempt, sticked outside. Another look, goes off of a Westwood player and then gloved by Lynn, but clean defense in the back zone by the Wolverines. Not just the angle by Alex, but the stick lift by Campbell.
You got to know KPW is not going away. So there's no lead is safe, but you got to keep the offense, but you got to keep on going.
So it brings out the Connolly line. Connolly on the draw. One back by KP. Shot, and that was a good shot. Glove saved by Jen Lynn. She makes those saves look routine. Those are very impressive. There's Wolverines right back to the draw. Connolly with Hicks.
Kendall's out.
Kendall's out?
Kendall's out.
Well, thank you, Kendall. Setting the tone for the Wolverines. We had Kendall, Riley, and Kira Joyce. And Westwood coming back the other way. Ends up in the neutral zone. As Connolly comes away with it. She was looking for Hicks. Goes off the far boards. What a job there by Joyce, able to close in on that window. Knock the puck off KP's stick. Westwood going to try the break on the far side. Able to chip it off the boards is Gannon. KP trying to go through the neutral zone. Good stick by the Wolverines. Connolly working it towards the center of the ice, working it around. Shot, oh, just wide right. Right idea, though. Skating left, shooting right.
2 great step-ups by Chevs there.
Yep.
One just stopped them from coming in. The other started to break out the other way.
He had the opportunity last year, and I think that's going to be offsides. Had the opportunity to interview after a game, and some really insightful commentary from her. She was a freshman, and I had asked her about playing as an 8th grader and gaining experience from that, and also being less nervous. And she said, no question about it. You know, playing in big games as an 8th grader, you're by the time you're a freshman, you're feeling like a junior, you know, and by the time you're a sophomore, you're basically like a senior post-grad.
That's what I said when Maggie was, you know, doing the water, carrying the water bottles. I was like, you've been on this team for like 5 years.
Yeah. But it's incredible what that does for these girls in other sports. Shot by Presley goes wide right. Lewis jumps in on the rebound. Great anticipation. It's not just getting shots, but being ready for those shots. Lewis is right there, ready to win a puck battle. And well-timed. A little battle on the far side.
They did that play again in the neutral zone where they have Maggie go back on the point and just kind of started over to the right.
I love that play. The boys have started doing that too, which really turns in, you know, you got someone who can move their feet pretty well off a clean win. It really turns into some good looks. Now KP trying to work an angle here. Great job to close that was Marino. A little centering attempt and they score. That's a goal by Taylor McDuff. As Westwood was playing the defender, or playing the forward with the puck behind the net, and then McDuff set up right in front of the net, off to the left side post, and able to squeeze that one in to tie it up at 1.
Yeah, just numbers there. Some good wheels by the KPW first forechecker, and then the other 2 just followed right to the net, and they had 3 back there against our 2, and she was just open on the short side.
And a great pass. I'm not sure who passed it to her, but a great pass to find her there, and even the score.
We got a ball game.
Yep, sure do. This is playoff-style hockey. You got to take one to give one. KP comes away with the face-off win, and they go right back into Westwood territory, trying to work it inside, but well played by Carolyn. Carolyn keeps it to the outside as she works it around the net. Puck goes airborne, settled by Connolly, and then on the stick of Hicks. Hicks gets the red, and she's going to send it in deep as Connolly chasing after it. Puck loose behind the net, ends up on top of the net. Both teams trying to knock it loose. Well, we'll get the whistle as they'll get a face-off. But, you know, KP with the answer. Crashing the net, getting pucks in deep, and just setting a player right up in front and delivering.
Critical shift here to kind of slow down the momentum and get it back on the Wolverine side.
Connolly on the draw. Hicks helping out in the far side corner. Connolly going to send it back behind the net. He's got Gannon crashing down, and then helping out was Connolly. KP forces it out as Chevry goes back to play it. Nice clean pass by Chevry. Tape to Connolly. Connolly is looking far side to Gannon. That was a great pass. Neutral zone breakout pass. Chevry to Connolly. That looked like a nice opportunity, but a great defensive play by KP to keep Westwood at bay. Hicks off the near side wall, going to work it towards the middle of the ice where she has some space. Nice moves. Sends it in, or tries to send it in deep, loses it. KP coming back the other way with it, going across the ice. And a shot saved by Lynn. They had a nice, well-positioned KP player there for the trailer to get that shot on, and the puck ends up deflecting out into the neutral zone. Presley all over the KP defense, forcing quick passes, and she gets right in and gets the puck herself. She's trying to send it over to Lewis, but that got knocked loose. And KP works it right back in.
I think she saw Ash there on the other side of the D and was trying to make a quick pass, but it just didn't happen in time.
And here comes Ash. Ash has Lewis to her left, trying to get it over, but a nice stick check by number 11, Kaylee Brady. Works it inside to Presley. That goes airborne and then ends up on the stick of KP. Connolly crashes, kept in by Westwood. Lewis and Chevry helping out on the blue line right there as they were getting back. Well positioned. Great structured play right now by the Wolverines as they're looking to get another look. That shot saved by Lynch, shot by Ash.
Physicality's picking up a little bit on both sides.
It
Girls
is.
are using their bodies. Still a clean game, but some bodies being taken.
Now KP walking in with some speed. Going inside, outside. Nice stick by Campbell. And Campbell comes away with it. Campbell looking up the far side boards. No Wolverine player there. Kept in by KP. Now Hughes. Hughes gets it up to the red and chipped back the other way by KP. KP going 2-on-2 with Westwood. A shot, nice move inside, and a shot goes off the KP player. That was a good move, a little nifty toe drag to get a really point-blank look. That puck gets through, and then now comes Marino. Marino and the Wolverines have numbers, as Marino has Callahan. She's got Hughes. Marino looking to shoot. Oh, and a save by Lynch. That was a 3-on-1 look for the Wolverines. You don't see those too often. KP looking to answer one for themselves as Westwood trying to get back in the play. They did a good job of evening it up. Callahan has got ice in front of her as Hughes was trying to push that ahead. KP did a good job of getting that puck back. They're going to send it in deep and change it up.
KPWD is stepping up a little bit. Number 11,
yeah,
Kaylee Brady, stepping up a few times. She's got some good wheels and a good shot.
Ash was trying to curl there. No room to go. KP did a good job of defending that. Westwood doing a good job of forcing that puck off the stick of KP on their entries. Very tight checking style hockey. Very playoff-like style hockey as well. And another thing similar to the last period, Ryan, is with less than 5 minutes remaining here in the second period. Not many whistles. Been very fast-paced play.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It certainly does. Puck behind the net. Ash was angling that. Forces an exit on the near side. Connolly jumps up, gets the shot towards the net, goes over the net. Presley trying to beat KP to it. Kept in by Joyce. And then Presley has it for a second, but goes off her stick. And another good stick check there by Joyce. She's going to go after it herself. Joyce, terrific instincts there. Started from the point and then was able to get it all the way the other way. KP now coming the other way. Campbell. And now they force it on the near side. Shot by KP, saved by Lynn. Outstanding positioning. There was nowhere to put that one, and she was ready for that pass. Westwood right back at it. They're going to change out some of their forwards. Oncoming is Livy Hicks as well as Connolly. Presley sends it towards the net. That's steered aside by Lynch. Ends up in the neutral zone. Nice stick by Chevry. Chevry going to work it in herself. Trying to send that in deep. Went off the skate of KP. Picks it up again. Works it behind the net. Doing a good job of possessing it. She's got help from Hicks. Goes back to Connolly with a shot. That gets deflected. Gannon trying to send that back behind the net. She does. Ends up skating it behind the net. KP has a clean puck, and they're going to ice that, which is always a good sign of you putting in some hard work when you see a nice ice. You know, Westwood really starting to answer after that KP goal.
Two tired teams there. I think it was almost, we were struggling to get back. I think both teams would take the ice there.
Absolutely. With 3 minutes remaining here in the second period, we are knotted up one apiece. Ryan Marsh, Evan Cardamino, Morgan Donahue. Chevry with a shot. Save, no rebound by Lynch. That's key too, or the saves with no rebounds. Get the face-off. Face-offs are big. Coaches love face-offs. You can change out personnel if you need. And a clean win by KP. Hicks all over KP to fight for the possession. Gannon then helps out. Gannon trying to send it to Hicks. Picked off by KP. Near side breakout. Beautiful job there. A one-touch passing. They were looking for one more pass to try and spring the forward up on the far side. Westwood did a good job of taking away that lane. A little D to D. Chevry off the boards, gets it out of the zone, ends up in the neutral zone. KP going to work it back to try and work it forward. Stolen by Westwood, but picked back up by KP. Drop pass right at the blue line. Sent on net, saved by Lynn. We're going to try the middle again, and that's been a common theme for KP is the middle, but coming away with it is Bridget Lewis. This is how she scored her first one. taking it from the defensive zone with some speed. Just to go off the side of the net. Ash with the shot. Oh! Deflection goes just wide. And that's going to be a potential icing again. It looks like it's slowing its way down. And called off. A late call off, no icing. Campbell moving her feet. She's taking a good angle to work it into the zone. Ash picks it up. Ash puts on the brakes to give it right back to Campbell as Campbell was looking for Presley. And KP sending it back the other way. It gets by Alex. Alex battling for it in the corner. KP looking in the front of the net. That's been their play, is trying to win the battles in front of the net while they send players right on the crease. Puck stopped right just inside the blue line. Presley was trying to send it by the KP defender, but then sent right back in by the Wolverines. Nice play there by Chevry as Wolverine forwards get their forecheck going. Stolen by Hicks. Hicks gonna work it in. Nice move to go all the way across the ice to open territory. Working on the backhand, looking for the middle. Pass saved by Lynch. Rebound just gets kicked out wide. That was a best look of the period for the Wolverines as Hicks worked it around, backhand to Gannon, saved by Lynch. Puck near side. Gannon fighting for it, going 1 against 2 versus KP. Connolly helps out as we're under a minute, 31 seconds remaining here in the second. As KP works it out of the zone. Blocked by Carolyn. Carolyn to Connolly. Connolly, drop pass to Gannon. Gannon working towards the net. Shot loose in front of Lynch. Both teams trying to gain possession. Then KP gets a stick on it. They're going to send it down Westwood's length. And it does get the icing there with 2.7. And Ryan, with 2.7, do you pull your goalie to get another skater out there?
Of course I do.
Love
Absolutely.
that.
I think it takes, what, 6-7 seconds? I was going to say, I had like 8 things to say, but there was no whistle for that 3 minutes. This is going to need the replay, but huge back check by Kira Chevry.
Yes.
KP had that chance right in front. She made some good offensive plays, but huge back check play.
Chevry going to go towards the net to try and outman KP, but that is going to do it here on the second period. It was a goal by McCabe for KP to tie it up at 1 apiece. And we're going to be in for a terrific third period. Ryan, any final thoughts here from the second?
Huge answer by KPW. I mean, I would lean the stakes to their side a little bit for that period. We won the first, they won the second, so coming back for the third.
No question about it. So, folks, buckle up. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back for the third period. We're tied 1 apiece. You're watching Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Girls Hockey.
Nothing in sports happens without commitment. You have to commit to prepare. You have to commit to compete. And when the game is on the line, you have to commit to making a decision and trust your preparation. The same is true when it comes to orthodontics. When you commit to improving your smile, you're making a commitment to a better life. Your mouth is the front door to your health. And who doesn't love showing off a beautiful smile when you're celebrating with friends and teammates? Arch Orthodontics is committed to you and being part of creating an even better you. When you're ready to commit, you know who to call.
Westwood High School Sports brought to you by Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care. And Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian.
So welcome back, folks. We are almost ready to kick off the third period. And hey, Ryan, you win the third period, you win the game here.
Don't worry about it.
The old saying, you win this period, you win the game.
It couldn't be more true.
Yes. As both teams fired up coming onto the ice. We are knotted 1 apiece. Wolverines scored the first one in the first period. King Philip tied it up in the second. And here we are, a big third period. Great test for both teams. As we said before the start of this game, this is the test for both teams. You have a non-league matchup versus two of the top teams, two top teams in Division II. KP number 5 in the MIA power rankings, Westwood number 2. And this is what it's all about. You want to play against the good teams. You want to beat the good teams. And you want to feel battle-tested come playoff time. And this game today feels a lot like a playoff game.
And it's one of those things where some coaches, a lot of people say, it's okay if we lose this one. I don't know. It's good. It's good to beat a team early and then get them thinking about it. If you come play them when it really matters in late February, early March, whenever that is. But winning now is just as important, I think.
Yeah, you want to see what you're made of when your back's up against a wall. How do you answer a tying goal? And Westwood did a beautiful job versus Medfield doing that. I think it was only like 2 minutes before they scored the go-ahead goal in that game. But how do you face adversity? How do you play and finish a third period when you're tired? And this is also back to the conversation of how Westwood's rolled 3 lines. They're going to have some fresh legs.
This is why you love this team. They're doing the gritty on the ice. Yes. They're dancing. They're all smiling. They're all laughing. They are ready to go. But having a great time doing it.
Yep.
I was talking to a few of the dads before the game. They just say the culture on this team is above any they've ever seen. So that helps come playoff time too. They
are a fun team to cover because they love playing the game and they have fun doing it. KP wins the opening draw here in the third. And coming across the far side, Chevry pushes the player outside. Of course, an outside shot goes off, I believe, either the outside of the net or Lynn got a piece of it. Gannon skating it up, pass it off to Connolly. Connolly with a 3-on-2 potentially with Gannon and Hicks. And Connolly trying to go through the center. That went off the boards. Crashing down was Chevry. And a great job here by Connolly on the back check. Or no, Carolyn keep that puck in front. Was looking for Gannon. Just went off her stick. And a loose puck settled by KP. They're trying to go the other way, but unable to get that puck flat. Westwood jumping in on it. Joyce looking to shoot. Shot just goes wide. That was a great play by Joyce to jump in on that one. Shot by Connolly goes wide. And then it's kept in by Presley. Joyce to the net. Saved by Lynch.
It was a great step by Erin Carolyn in the neutral zone. She didn't hesitate for a second. It was going to be a 2-on-1 going the other way. A lot of defenders would back up and kind of play that defensively. She saw an opening and she got to the puck first.
Great start for the Wolverines. Right back to the draw. It was a stalemate, but coming away is Chevry. Chevry looking for the net front. Played outside, shot,
yeah.
Score! On the doorstep, Bridget Lewis puts that in on a pass by Chevry. It may have taken a ricochet off a skate, but Bridget Lewis ready. Right on that doorstep to put that over the pad and in the back of the net.
Abby Presley just down in the corner, making the plays, going to get the puck. Maggie's net front presence, and then Bridget just sat behind her. No one could pick her up.
That was beautiful, crashing the net. And it all came from a nice face-off. The face-off, the puck went right to the sideboards. Wolverines jumped on that. Presley was looking for that opening, found that opening, and worked its way to Bridget Lewis right there on the net front to put it in the back of the net and give the Wolverines the lead.
Huge goal to start the third.
Now puck near side. Wolverines come back away with a shot by Lewis, turned away by Lynch. Presley back in the quarter battling for it. She's got some help from Lewis. Squirts loose, goes in the far corner. KP sends it up the side. Pinching is Campbell, and then coming away with it is Ash. Ash works it inside, makes a nice move, but then sticked out by KP, works its way back in the neutral zone. Joyce settles it, goes D to D, right to Campbell. Campbell works up the far boards as KP comes back away with it. And Joyce, great stick. She's been outstanding tonight. And a nice pass by Callahan to Hughes, who's working it in. Shot goes just wide. Rims around the boards. Nice play by the Wolverines. Keep that in. Was that Chevry? I think it is. Kept that puck in front of her. Puts it right back into KP territory. Forces breakouts, which Westwood's on top of all over it. They're really making it difficult for KP right now. On the breakout, as that one goes off the stick of KP. Shot towards the net, deflected wide. Callahan to Hughes. We have a loose impediment out there. Yeah, I don't know if it's a broken stick
I think
or
it's a net guard.
A net guard. And that puck works its way out. It's going to work its way towards the net.
Nice
Lynn
play
gets a stick on that one just to settle it towards the corner and allow for a nice clean Westwood breakout. Connolly was trying to send that towards the middle. That ended up on a KP stick, but no harm, no foul as Westwood works it back in the defensive zone for a breakout. Takes a KP bounce. Connolly battling for it. Nice stick lift, forced it into Westwood's corner. Campbell, nice backhand pass over to Gannon. That was a beautiful pass on the backhand to allow Gannon, who's got some speed behind her, ends up back on the stick of Campbell. Campbell right back down low, sends it to Connolly, but falls off her stick. KP working on the near side. Works around Campbell, but great defense there by Alex to help close the gap where Campbell went right to the front of the net. Those two on the same page. I'll help you out here. You go take the net front. That's how great D work together as they have each other's backs.
We said it in the last period, but KP's got a couple D, 11, 18, that can step up. Westwood's got to be careful of them.
They certainly do. We saw it a couple times on the entries as we have a player hit the ice. But Westwood, if they can get the speed going, have some lanes. But it was tough to collect that puck, work it in. Great job by Gannon, sends it in. Wolverine's going to change it up, but you're right. There was a couple entries where they had drop passes where Westwood was outnumbered because it was a defender coming in on the play.
Nice play again.
Chevry. Lewis took Ash. Oh, beautiful. Just
Great
one
tip.
touch passes tipped up to each other and forced a very difficult save by Lynch. Shot from the point, that goes wide. One of the far boards. First one there, who but Presley. Lewis sends it over to Presley. Works up top to Carolyn with the shot. Hard shot off the foot of the KP forward. She stung her foot a little bit. She's going to get off for a new player as Presley right back at it. Far side corner.
We said it on the last goal, but when Maggie or anybody kind of has that net front presence, it takes two KPW players to stay with them. There's always going to be a girl that's open if you can creep along that backside. Yeah, and that was where Lewis got the goal. They had a couple players on Ash on the far side post, near side post. Lewis was there to bury it. And this is what hockey's all about, is puck battles. Wolverines hungry on every puck. And no one better than Marino right now. She is so good on those loose pucks and cycling the puck, cycles it down to Presley. Presley able to, she does such a good job of. At the end of a long shift.
I know, but a 2-minute shift, still doing it. Presley sends it towards the net. That's kicked out. Over to Campbell. Campbell sends it in deep, right back down to Marino as Presley getting some well-deserved rest as she comes off the ice with Callahan coming on. And then Marino and Hughes back and forth they go as they keep the possession going and they force an icing.
Great
shift. That is just beautiful. That is how you draw it up, folks, is the depth lines. You know, being able to just exhaust teams by moving that puck around. You have players chasing after you. Well done there by the Hughes, Callahan, and Marino line. And on comes the Connolly line. Connolly, clean win, right to Campbell. Campbell sends it near side, works it down low. Hicks is trying to crash it, takes a Westwood bounce off the boards, ends up in the center of the ice, then steered aside by KP. KP has a couple players. Westwood's going to have to get back in the play to help defend it. They do, and a nice job there by Connolly helping out as KP looked like they were going to have a 2-on-1. They sent it up to the point. That shot caught a piece of Hicks. Centering attempt blocked out by Connolly. Another shot from the point. Goes wide, ends up on the near side half wall.
Great block by Livy Hicks there.
And a nice pass, Campbell to Hicks. Westwood able to clear it out. Nice job. Gannon sends it towards the net, steered aside by Lynch. Hicks jumps on it as Connolly closing in as well. Look at the skating ability of the Wolverines. Playing all 200 feet of the ice, not just on the defensive zone, but the back checks are so vital.
It's a good sign when the ice in your defensive zone still looks a little fresh.
Yes. KP gets the turnover, but Westwood well positioned on the sticks there. I'm going to send it right in. It takes a KP bounce loose and then chipped out by Chevry. Chevry with a big play there as the puck was working its way towards a KP player in front of the net. She got the last say of it and steered it aside.
Maggie was trying to spring Lewis there on a breakaway, but just a little bit late on the pass.
Here we go. Presley works it in, sends it in on net. And Ryan, one of the most underrated things I think in hockey is a play like that. Put it in on net, get a whistle, and now you have a face-off with, you know, the Ash, Lewis, and Presley line out there now.
Especially with the way the period's going. We're just over halfway. Once again, another period flying by, but with the 2-1 lead, keep it down here.
Lewis, clean win. Puck gets knocked off Presley's stick. Being chased by Campbell. Got Alex as well. Nice clean pass. There's Campbell to Ash. Now Lewis, 1-on-3. She's got some space, looking to shoot. Oh! Looks similar to that Medfield game where she was working in and just went under the bar on Paraki. KP coming away with it. They got 2 to Westwood's 1. Shot goes wide. Rims on the near side and chipped out. Now Westwood has a 2-on-2. I like the chances when you got Ash and you got Lewis. Shot by Lewis, and then Presley there for the trail. That went wide, but back and forth we go. KP had their looks. Westwood clean breakout. They get their looks. So back and forth hockey with Marino coming out there now. Marino picks up a clean puck, taking it towards the net, off the side of the net. Hughes picks up the loose puck, and then there we go, right back to Marino. These two are so good at keep away. As Hughes, right back to Marino. And they keep finding each other. Hughes, so good at the cycling. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's 2 versus 4.
I always say in college, these two must be roommates, but I don't know if they're living together right now just yet.
Roommates on the road, you know, where they talk about how to keep cycling the puck effectively. KP able to work it out. Coming into the Westwood zone. Chevry gets a nice stick on that, forces it aside.
Kira Chevry has had an unbelievable night.
Outstanding.
So many big plays, small plays. She's doing all the right things. Just solid. The Westwood D is so solid.
They're so good. And then you got Jen Lynn behind you as well.
Helpful. That helps.
And we were talking about that, you know, come playoff time, you want to have solid defense, but you also want a defense and a goalie that can steal games, and you got both of that when you have what you see from the Westwood D. Shot towards the net was steered aside. There was a errant pass there, but Westwood able to come away with it. Connolly chips it up ahead, chasing it after it. Westwood playing the long game.
Great defensive play by Maeve Callahan.
Yeah.
Didn't play the puck, played the body. That's their, I don't know anything about stats, but if I were to guess, number 10 on KPW, I would say would be one of their leading scorers, and Maeve made a great play, shutting her down.
And Maeve has been terrific, and she's been part of that line when we've been talking about the Marinos and the Hughes, their mentality of how they wear these teams down, and top lines down. As we're inside 5 minutes here, remaining at the Ice House. Wolverines up 2-1 off a Bridget Lewis goal. Gannon with the shot, gets deflected. Ooh, Hicks hits the ice. Shot from the outside by Connolly, hits the side of the net.
Penalty-free game continues.
Yes. And a nice clean pass across the ice to KP. They're going to send it in and change it up. As Westwood looks to settle it and work a clean breakout if they can. Campbell goes off the boards to Gannon. Gannon, she's got 4 players closing in on her. A smart play sends it in deep as Westwood changes out their forwards. On comes Ash with Lewis. Ash working towards the middle. Lewis, shot. Oh, takes a deflection, was loose. Ends up on the stick of Campbell with a rocket from the point, goes wide. Joyce sends it down low to Ash. Ash puts on the brakes, changing the angle. Lewis with a shot, saved by Lynch. Nice play by Ash, changed the angle, sends it to the front of the net. Lewis had a great stick on it, saved by Lynch. KP trying the far side. Campbell right on it. Trying to send it through the crease area, ends up on the stick. Ash, smart play, just right out in the neutral zone.
Campbell is such a strong player. She's a strong skater. She's got a good hard shot, but she always makes the right play as well. Dump it in or put it on net.
Not afraid to battle. She rolls those sleeves up and she goes to war. Ash, clean breakout to Presley. Presley with space. That's a dangerous look, and she shoots and saved by Lynch. And all from a nice breakout pass by Ash, turned it into offense, and a good look by Presley. And you got a face-off now in the offensive zone.
Both Maggie and Abby are so strong on the wall. Backhand, forehand, wherever they play, they just get that puck to the middle, and it just always ends up in an odd-man rush the other way.
Hughes going to knock it ahead, and there we go. Marino jumping in on a loose puck, and she does a great job with the foot, keeping it in front. She's got Hughes helping out. You also got Callahan to her left. Hughes going to break the angle there, still battling for it as Marino jumps in on the loose puck. KP trying again up the far side, but Hughes already there. The puck still loose. And then Hughes able to come away with it as it goes in the neutral zone. She sends it right back in. Right then and there, I mean, Ryan, 30 seconds, 40 seconds of just killing clock.
Their puck is down this end of the ice when they're on the ice. And with a 2-1 lead late in the third,
and you got
just critical moments.
You got your depth line, with the last couple minutes in the game. Shows the trust that you have and how important these lines are for your team, especially defensively. KP sends it in deep. We're under 2 minutes remaining here in the game. Wolverines up 2-1 after the goal by Bridget Lewis. Connolly on the far side. She's got Gannon in the middle. Puck loose. Stays with her. And she's holding on to it to kind of look for where her teammates are. Sends it off the backboards. Hicks gonna cycle it right back to Connolly. Connolly in the front of the net. Sticked aside by KP. Ends up on the top of the point. And look who we got on the point now. We got Hughes helping out on the point, as she's been able to do it both, helping out offensively and defensively. And that's why right there is she can flatten that puck and move that puck effectively. Presley line back out there with Ash. Campbell collects it, going off the far boards. And you got Bridget Lewis out there as well. Presley looking for Lewis, and coming away with his KP. KP on the entry, going to send to the far boards. Under a minute remaining here.
Keep an eye on the KP goalie here.
Yes.
They're not calling her.
Hughes working on the near side. Over to Presley. Presley off the boards. Now we have a 2-on-1. Presley with Ash. Presley trying to send it over, and a great stick there by KP.
Nice
Hughes,
play.
Smart play
she
right
went out
back
there
in
for the
there.
last 4 minutes.
Yes. She went from offense to defense,
we got
and that's a
3D.
clean pass. But Hughes able to get a stick on it. Big play by Hughes as Presley works it into KP territory. KP going 2-on-2. 15 seconds left. Working towards the net. It's loose. Save by Lynn. Huge save, Jen Lynn. The puck goes up. Westwood trying to clear it, hits KP, and Westwood comes away with the 2-1 win.
They are too exhausted to celebrate.
Oh, yeah, Presley looks exhausted. So does Lewis. They left it all out there. And what a save by Jen Lynn when it mattered the most. Last 10 seconds, able to get that big save to close out the game and get the win. A big win for the Wolverines.
I feel like this place is deflated, but that was a wild last 4 or 5 minutes.
I think people are just cold. It's just cold. But what a hockey game. I mean, this was a game that playoff-style game. And you know what? We've been talking about it where you have a defense out here now that can help close out games and win games when you get that go-ahead goal. And they showed exactly that with the Lewis goal and then closing out for the win.
Kira Chevry, Delia Joyce, Fallon Campbell, Avery Hughes there at the end. The usual players, everyone stepped up. Big, strong defensive effort.
Absolutely. And that's going to do it here from the Cannon Ice House. The Wolverines 2-1 winners over King Philip. Thank you for tuning in, folks. We'll see you all again soon. Have a great night.